Hey, my love. Welcome to your weekly forecast for the week of February 2nd to the 9th, 2025. This week, the plot starts to thicken. With Jupiter moving direct as of Tuesday, we can start to feel a little more clear on and optimistic about where we're going next in 2025. Another highlight of the week is Venus entering Aries, where it will be for the next couple months, because it'll be turning retrograde in this sign come March. So this week can start to highlight some of the themes that are going to shape the next couple months in relationships. But generally, with Jupiter turning direct, we can start to get some forward momentum going this week, or at least start to see a little bit further into the future. So let's get into the highlights of the week. On Monday, Mercury forms a trine to Jupiter, and we start off the week with this very on mental energy and focus. Jupiter is our big vision and ideals, and Mercury is our understanding of how to make our big vision and ideals a reality. So with this harmonious aspect, Monday can deliver helpful and practical new perspectives and ideas. Mercury is in Aquarius, and Jupiter is in Gemini. These are both very relationship-focused air signs. So Monday can be a great day for conversations with other people and seeing eye to eye on things without too many emotions getting in the way. Or it can be really helpful for just understanding our own needs and desires in relationships and getting clear with ourselves. So Monday can be clarifying in the realm of relationships. However, that's only for now, because things are changing on Tuesday. On Tuesday, Venus enters Aries, where it will later turn direct on March 1st. So Venus doesn't turn retrograde every year. So this Venus retrograde is one of the defining themes of 2025. So between March 1st and April 12th, Venus will be retrograde. She'll be transforming from an evening star to a morning star. And this can be symbolic of our own transformation within relationships, but more generally, like our transformation within our values and our ideals. That's what Venus retrograde is all about. And since Aries is the sign of the self, this spring Venus retrograde puts the focus on self-love as the first step to being able to create and maintain fulfilling relationships. Starting on Tuesday, with Venus entering Aries, we can feel into this invitation, or we can start to feel into what our new 2025 self-loving era can be all about. Also on Tuesday, Jupiter turns direct in Gemini. So Jupiter has been retrograde in Gemini since October 9th, 2024. So Jupiter in Gemini from spring 2024 until spring 2025 is all about opening up our mind. It's about sampling new options, discovering and adding or accumulating information and ideas. It's been all about learning. So Jupiter retrograde in Gemini has given us a chance to just step back and assess the options that we've been sampling, or really integrate the learnings that have been, unfolding since May 2024. And now that Jupiter is direct, it's time to make some choices and move forward. There are about 5 months left of this Jupiter in Gemini transit, and then Jupiter moves into Cancer. So we have about 5 months left to really fine-tune our knowing, or fine-tune our conscious choice and intention, or our mindset, our message, what we want to talk about, what we want to master, who we want to be, especially in the Gemini ruled house in our birth chart, which has been activated by this Jupiter transit. Now on Friday, Neptune conjoins the North Node in Pisces. So Friday can be a little charmed, a little magical, certainly very imaginative and expansive. We can see into our future and maybe discover new desires, new possibilities and ways. The signs and intuitive hits that come through on Friday are for real. Trust them. Do not dismiss them. On Sunday, we have a Mercury Cazimi in Aquarius, and also on Sunday, Mars retrograde forms a trine to Saturn. So Sunday feels like a day of reconciliation. We can acknowledge what we've been struggling with. We can maybe accept what we've been struggling with or feeling stuck on or held back by. And we can have some clarity that finally comes through about it. And this clarity can feel liberating. The clarity that comes through on Sunday, whether that comes from some like external occurrence, like getting some news or some message or something, or whether it comes from within, just as an intuitive nudge, that clarity that comes through on Sunday can change the way that we move forward. A Mercury Cazimi brings clarity, and Mars retrograde trine Saturn can bring this motivation and like sense of direction to take some first step to move forward. And that first step can be really supported. Sunday feels very constructive for like just moving things forward, putting water under the bridge and moving on forward, regardless of how we might feel. Next week, Mercury enters Pisces, and we have our full moon in Leo. And let's pull some cards for the week ahead. The week of February 2nd to the 9th, 2025, first full week of February. Let's get this week going and make it the best it can be. Three of Swords, Seven of Swords, Six of Cups. Reconciliation. We can accept how we're feeling if we've been feeling maybe a little bit heavy coming into this year, if we're maybe feeling stuck on something, if we're maybe feeling held back by something, if we're feeling some heaviness in our heart, we can acknowledge that this week. We want to make a point to move into this week with no illusions, with no attempts to try to be somewhere that we're not, or, fix things immediately or come up with all these consolations and silver linings. We want to be with this moment. The Three of Swords is like, acknowledge how you are feeling. Acknowledge what's maybe not feeling great, and acknowledge like where you're at, and acknowledge what this moment is just like asking you to acknowledge. Like there's a specific invitation that's arriving here from the heart. This week is like, acknowledge where you are and like what emotions this last chapter that you've been on has left you with. We've all been off to a slow start, a bit of a heavy start to this year with this Mars retrograde. And it could be that some of us are still bringing old shit forward from the past. The Seven of Swords is such a complex, nuanced card. It's like, we want to move forward. We want to leave where we just were. We want to say, not my circus, not my monkeys. I'm taking my key learnings and I'm moving on forward, and I am stealing away like a thief in the night. Yeah, we can do that, but we have to take our heavy heart with us if that's what we have. So wherever you go, there you are, So this week, where are you? Can you be with you with like radical acceptance and radical compassion? And can you say, even though something feels maybe really bad right now, or challenging to look at, or overwhelming, or just like a lot, or confusing, can we say, I'm still okay. I'm still worthy of my own love, no matter what. We're going to make tracks in 2025. 2025 is bringing so many beautiful changes and reasons to be excited about where we're going. That is for sure. But this week, it's like we really want to make sure that we're moving forward, hopeful and excited about our next steps and what we're doing, like from a place of self-love, not from a place of trying to like become someone different or like dismiss a previous version of ourselves. Like, acknowledge like where you might be like judging your past self a little bit. Real healers do not judge their past selves. What judgments are you working with right now? What judgments are you ready to let go of? This week, healing, maturity. Like liberation. It feels like there's a whole lot of swords happening. It feels like there's a whole lot of thoughts, a whole lot of voices at the table, and like a whole lot of feelings that are being prompted. Like, we can like really change our inner dialogue, not by trying to change our inner dialogue this week, but by saying, fuck, this sucked. That sucked. I don't like how this is going. Okay, so allow yourself to feel that. And then what's the next step from there? You know, it's like there's no trying, there's no striving this week. It's not about like trying to get someone we're not, but it's just about like allowing our heart to offer us its wise guidance right now. The Six of Cups, there's some sweetness that's coming in here. This makes me think about Neptune conjoining the North Node in Pisces. The Six of Cups can be this energy of like just something that's easy to receive, something that's like energizing and like restores peace in the body and feels maybe even a little bit familiar, reminds us of like who we are and who we've always been. There could maybe be some really nice like connections or exchanges that happen this week that remind you that like humanity is not the worst or maybe even just some really grounding reminders that come through this week that actually, you know, kind of nudge your attention back to the past in a way that's like, my past self would be proud of me. You know, my childhood self would be proud of me. There could be maybe some moments like that this week. But the Six of Cups is like, what gives us energy right now? Whatever it is, we want to give that to ourselves. Minors. On the root of the deck, we have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords plus the Three of Swords. Feeling away and receiving a lot of mental feedback about that. A lot of judgment about that. We have to let ourselves transform sometimes. But the Six of Cups is like, what's like your favorite thing right now? Like, what's your favorite part of your day right now? What does that tell you about your needs, really? And your values, you know? Feels like this is really a week for healing and like actually making some headway with that. Just self-awareness. Nine of Pentacles coming through. Last card. 9 of Pentacles. And so at the end of the day, at the very end of the day, after the storm passes, after all the challenging, daunting things have passed, all the work and all the anxiety-producing moments have passed, we can emerge on the other side of it and say, I did so good. Like, it's like the 9 of Pentacles is so self-sufficient, so independent, so resourceful, and so much like, I got this. I have had this a million times over. I have found the will and the way, even in the darkest hours in the past. And I can trust myself. I have so much proof around me that I can trust myself, you know? So much proof. And we'll end that with some meows from my cat. I hope that this weekly forecast offered you some helpful food for thought for this week ahead. And I'm going to be sending you all of my love, and Nashville as well. And until next week, my love.